All right, let's get right into it. Picture this. You're in a job interview, maybe prepping for a big certification exam, and boom, the topic of Linux comes up. What do you say? This right here, this is your quick guide to make sure you sound knowledgeable, prepared, and totally confident, especially when the pressure's on.
So here's our game plan. It's super straightforward. First, we're going to tackle why you should even care about Linux history. And trust me, it's a secret weapon. Then we'll get into the what, the core stuff you absolutely have to know. And we'll wrap it up with the how, turning all this knowledge into a killer roadmap for your success.
Okay, let's kick things off with the big question, probably the one you're already thinking. Seriously, why do I need to know about history for a tech job today? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. But the answer? Well, that's going to be your secret weapon.
I mean, really, why would an interviewer for a super modern DevOps or cloud role care about a project that got started way back in 1991, right? It kind of feels like they're just trying to throw some trivia at you to see if you stumble. But nope, that's not it at all.
See, when they ask about where Linux came from, it's not a history quiz. It's a test of your foundational knowledge. They're trying to figure out if you get the bigger picture. You know, the whole open source idea that is literally the backbone of almost everything we use today. The cloud, your phone, you name it. Nailing this story shows you've done more than just memorize a few commands. It shows you understand the why.
All right, so let's get into the story itself, because it's pretty wild. It's the ultimate tale of how this tiny one-person project just exploded and basically took over the entire tech world. Getting this story down gives you such a solid foundation to build on.
To really get the whole Linux vibe, you have to start at the beginning. And man, was it humble. This quote here is from the guy himself, Linus Torvalds, back when he was just a college kid in Finland. He wasn't trying to build some global tech empire. He just wanted a free OS for his own PC. I mean, look at that. He literally called it just a hobby. Crazy, right?
Now look at this timeline. The real game changer, the moment everything shifted, was 1992. Sure, the first release in 91 was cool, but putting it under the GNU General Public License, or GPL, that was like throwing gasoline on a fire. That single move guaranteed it would stay free and open forever, and that brought in developers from all over the world. It's the reason Linux went from hobby to juggernaut. And dropping that little detail in an interview, that shows you've really done your homework.
So, that's the why. That's the story. Now let's get you armed with the what. If you want to crush that technical interview, you've got to have these core concepts down cold. So, let's pull back the curtain and see what Linux is actually made of.
Okay, pay attention here because this is a huge one. This is a classic interview question that instantly shows if you know your stuff. The Linux that Linus Torvalds actually wrote is the kernel. Think of it like the engine of a car. It's the absolute core, the part that manages the CPU, the memory. It talks directly to the hardware. But an engine by itself doesn't get you anywhere, right? You need the whole car. That's what a distribution, or distro, is. It's the complete package, the kernel, plus all the other stuff that makes it a usable OS.
And here's a quick look at what's in that whole package. You've got the kernel, the engine we just talked about. Then you add in the GNU tools. Those are your essential commands, like ls and cp. You add a file system to organize everything, and a package manager so you can install and remove software easily. So next time you hear people talking about Ubuntu or Red Hat or Debian, you'll know exactly what they mean. They're not just talking about the kernel, they're talking about the whole distro.
All right, let's put it all together. This last part is all about action. This is your roadmap. We're going to take everything we've just covered and turn it into a real, concrete plan so you can walk into that interview or exam feeling totally prepared.
If you want to learn this stuff efficiently, just follow these 3 steps. It's a simple recipe for success. Step 1, really get the story and the philosophy. That's your why. Step 2, lock down those core concepts, especially the difference between a kernel and a distro. That's your what. And finally, step 3 is where the magic happens. You get your hands on the keyboard and build real skills. An approach like this, it's not about memorizing, it's about understanding, and that's exactly what they want to see.
So what does hands-on actually mean? Well, here's your checklist. Yeah, you start with the basic commands and get into some scripting. But don't just stop there. You need to dig deeper. Understand the system architecture. And I'm telling you, you have to know file permissions and ownership inside and out. That one comes up all the time. After that, layer in some networking concepts. And, this is key, always focus on the skills that matter for the job you want. The goal isn't to just memorize a long list of commands. It's to see how all these pieces work together.
And there you have it. That's the roadmap. You've got the story, you've got the core concepts, and you've got a plan to practice. You have everything you need to move beyond just knowing about Linux and start truly understanding it in a way that's going to make a huge impression. So the only question now is, what are you going to do with it?